Hello, good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday, March 9th. It is currently 8:41, and I said I was going to start at 8:42 today. And I decided on 8:42 just because it is an off time. It's not really at 8:30, it's not really 8:45, certainly not 9 o'clock. So I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make it so that it sticks. 8:42 p.m. And here we are. It is 8:42 p.m. And welcome to Discover with Spinati. I'm Dr. Spinati, a local dentist here in London, Ontario, serving London, Ontario, and surrounding region, even afar on Hyde Park Road in Sarnia at Spinati Dentistry. Today we're going to be talking about something that's really important. Today is episode number 51. I forgot to put that there, but it is episode number 51. And thank you for tuning in. For those that are tuning in, if you're tuning in live, thank you. If you're tuning in after this recording, again, thank you. And I hope you're enjoying it. I do my best to prepare for these, and it does take me a little bit of time. So if you are enjoying it, please give me a thumbs up or send me a message letting me know you're enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it and you care to let me know how I can improve it, I'm more than happy to take on your suggestions because obviously I want to do things so that they can be a little bit beneficial or a lot beneficial for you. And you can take a little bit of notes, mental notes, that is. I'm not expecting you to take notes, it's not a class. So give me some feedback. I'm more than happy to receive any of them. And if you're tuning in on this Saturday evening, give me a little bit of your time. I really appreciate it. I am going to make this valuable to you. So today we're going to be talking about 3,000 Weeks. 3,000 Weeks was inspired by a book called 4,000 Weeks. And when I read a little bit of that book, I didn't read the whole book. When I read a little bit of the book of 4,000 Weeks, I thought to myself, 4,000 weeks is around 70 something years. And I'm like, well, maybe by the time you start reading, you've already lost quite a bit of years. So it's not really 4,000 weeks. So I'm going to say 3,000 weeks, which is around 57-ish years, 57 and a half years. And so I thought, okay, well, by the time you're around 25, around there, you're kind of thinking about life and thinking about how you can plan life. And maybe you've hit a few milestones by then. And so 3,000 weeks seems to be appropriate from that point onwards, so that you're not lamenting on the 25 or the 10 years prior to that. So 33,000 years really talks about time and our time here on this planet as human beings, and talks about how we can most concentrate on our life. So notice how I'm not saying how to be more productive, because the whole point of this podcast is for you not to focus on productivity, which is something that I've preached on for many podcasts, but it is mainly for you to focus on your life, to focus on the realities of life. And as the title here says, it says 3,000 weeks, and the subtitle says realities of life are to be enjoyed, not controlled. So here's a little bit of stats with regards to life. So life, as we know it, the first recorded human was 200,000 years ago. It was first recorded human 200,000 years ago. And obviously they didn't have the concept of the clock. The concept of the clock and keeping time came about in the Industrial Revolution. So this was definitely not 200,000 years ago. And so people weren't really stressed with regards to that. The longest, the most, or the by the way, when you're hearing a little bit of congestion, it's because I am congested. I don't think I'm sick, but I'm a little bit congested. So just letting you know, that's why my voice sounds a little bit off. So a woman by the name of Jean Calment, she lived to 122 years, and she died in 1997. And this is the oldest human in recorded history, 122 years. And some experts are saying that this is, we're inching closer to make this a very common thing, where we are living to around 90s, hundreds, and it's going to become more and more common as years go on. However, we've been given, okay, as the next slide says, we've been given an unlimited supply of mental energy and a limited supply of us planning things. However, we have not been given a limited amount of time. So here you can see the slide where it says, right here, where it says we've been given an infinite mind with finite time. And this is the whole dilemma of our time, is that we think in terms of we want to do so many things, but yeah, our time is so limited. And this has been a catastrophic event in our minds for eons, for a very, very long time. And that's all we've been thinking about is how to maximize our time. Well, instead of thinking about maximizing your time, you should really think about minimizing your distractions. So, as it says here, it says people, events, and environments. And it says also time management should be everyone's chief concern. And the reason it says that is because these three things, people, events, and environments, are the things that you should focus on. Focus on the people that you are currently with. Focus on the people that you are surrounding yourself with, the people that are currently in your life. That's number one. And also focus on meeting new people. Because by meeting new people, you've automatically now enhanced your experience of life. Because now you're gaining from their experience and you're adding it to yours, and you're also giving from yours to theirs. So you're enriching both your life. So you actually, that's basically you are multiplying your life by meeting more people. The more people that you meet, the more interesting you become, and the more interested you become in life. Because now you're like, wow, I want to find out more things, more stories, more things that people are doing, and it really expand your horizon on things that you haven't thought of before. Similarly to like reading books, except reading books is very isolated type of an activity, whereas meeting new people I find to be incredibly exciting. I mean, whoever I can talk to, I talk to. And I should say, by the way, for people that are watching this and are like, well, I wish I was like you, Dr. Spinati. I wish I could just approach anybody and talk to them. I'm letting you know I was not like that. I was a very reserved person, introvert. I didn't want to talk to strangers. I didn't want to talk to people because I had a speech impediment and I didn't want to put myself out of this, comfort zone. And I wanted to stay within my own bubble. But I'm telling you right now that the challenge that I put myself through for me to get out of it and for introducing myself to people, talking to people, talking to random people has really been a blessing in my life. And so if I could do it, believe me, you can do it as well. I actually was at a point in my life where I was looking at people and I was marveling at people that could speak for hours on end on a topic and sound very coherent and intellectual. I marveled at those people because I didn't have that ability. But because I focused on getting that ability, now it's almost second nature to me for me to approach anybody and to talk to them. So that's the first thing, is to focus on people. The second is to focus on events. There's a lot of events, literally events, right? Like events where people congregate. It's amazing how much you can actually enrich your life by attending these events. And you will notice the people that actually go to certain events, whether it's a sports event or music festival, or some kind of, I don't know, whatever it is, musical hall, or um, I don't know, nature, um, I don't know, something. These kinds of events, or cooking event, something. These kind of events add to your life experience. And the whole point of life is to add to your experience and to add experience to other people. In other words, to give value to people. Either you're helping them through giving them from your own self, from your own time, from your own, resources, or you're actually attending these kind of events and lending to those experiences and gaining from them. So I mean, that's how you actually expand your life and expand the meaning of your life. And the third is environment, and literally going a different route. For instance, here's a very, very kind of very simple example, which is for you to drive to work using a different route. Have you ever thought about that? Just using a different route to go to work, to expand that environment, because you haven't experienced it. And by experiencing something different actually gives you a different vibration in your DNA. I'm not going to talk about that, but it gives you a different vibration, and that different vibration of your DNA will actually give you different reactions. And so then you'll start having a different perspective simply because you have taken a different route towards work. Because when we're autonomously driving, we're kind of just like, we shut off our brain because we rely on habits for us to get to work. We tend to not even look around. We tend to not even pay attention. And then that robs us of that environmental experience. So three things: people, events, and environment are those things that allow you to experience life a lot more fully. So that's the thing for you to take advantage of your infinite mind, is for you to expand your experiences in your life. Now, the second thing, and this is a big one, especially now in the modern age with the phone, is the online distractions. The online distractions, actually, I'm going to keep the slide up a little bit. The online distractions gives us that feeling of insecurity. Yes, you heard it correctly. The online distractions actually gives us the feeling of insecurity. Now, how does it do that? I mean, the obvious. Okay. The obvious is that when you see people that are either funnier, more charming, have more money than you, drive better cars, hang around cooler people, you're automatically going to feel insecure. Like literally just by being on your phone, scrolling, you've now put yourself in a downward state, right? You've put yourself down. But the other thing is that by doing that, simply by doing that, forget about what you're watching. Let's say you're watching cats. Okay, you're not going to feel insecure by cats unless you love cats and you have a really stupid cat. I mean, I think cats are very not loyal, and I would have a cat if I had a pet. But anyway, I digress. Insecurities in social media is because you are wasting your time while thinking that you're using your time. And then by the time you get out of social media, because it's an in and out kind of process, and these big, huge social media companies are actually paid, top dollar for them to steal the attention from you so that they can be on, so you can be on social media. So it's actually designed for you to actually want to grab your phone and scroll on social media. It's designed for you to do that, right? It's not a fluke. It's not an accident. It is actually the big companies are being paid for that. So just think about that. Now, because you are that, people who have grown up as children as bookworms, people have grown up, to now, they can't even focus on anything without the itch for them to grab their phone and to scroll on social media. I mean, I'm sure that you've experienced it as well. Some people call it a dopamine depression. And so then, they need that dopamine hit. And so they grab their phone and then they scroll, numbing their brains. But that's just part of it. It's kind of like, going to McDonald's, getting their fries. Once you get addicted, you're addicted, right? It's very hard to get unaddicted from fries, especially McDonald's fries. So same thing, right? These things are designed for you to be instantly attracted to them and then to be addicted to them. So when you are addicted to these things, and because it makes your mind be very sporadic and not be focused, and makes you think of a billion different things, you're like, oh, that's a good idea. Let me save this one. Oh, that's really nice. I wish I could do that. And then you start daydreaming about certain things. Now your mind's all over the place. Before social media, your mind was all over the place. Now with social media, your mind is 10 times all over the place. And now you're looking at people that are beside you that you love them, and now you're no longer satisfied with them because they're not matching the profiles of the people that you're watching on social media. So now you're fooled into thinking something that's not even true, because the people on social media, by the way, they design things so that you can like them, so that you can go back to their social media profile to like more of their things. A lot of the stuff on social media, pure lies, and they do that on purpose. And now with AI, like lies are even more magnified, or much easier for people to fool other people. Have you seen Sora? I wish this thing would live with us when it can actually like talk to people. Have you seen Sora? Sora. If you haven't seen Sora, look it up. Google it. It's the new OpenAI software program that allows you to use a prompt for you to create an entire video that looks incredibly realistic. So now on social media, but when Sora rolls out and people can actually use it, you won't even know what's real and what's not real anymore. I'm not joking. Google it. If you haven't Googled Sora, or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Sora, Sora, Sora. Google it, and you will see it is incredible the amount of fakeness that can be generated now with AI. And so the whole point here is that with you being distracted constantly with social media, now your mind's all over the place. Because it's all over the place, now you feel insecure with your time. Now you feel like your days are racing. You feel like your days are dragging on. And so that it becomes impossible for you to make meaningful plans. And it becomes even more impossible for you to think even further than the end of next week. If you think of the end of next week at all, some people even have a hard time thinking about the end of this week. So for you to even want to think about the future and actually planning for it and looking forward to it, it becomes so impossible because now your mind is focused so much on all these bombardments of perfection that now you're so insecure that you just want to keep watching it because you're like, well, I can't have it. I want to at least enjoy it vicariously through these people. Now you're wasting time. Now you're not making any meaningful connections. Time's all over the place. You feel distracted. Then you feel like your life is just passing you by because you're not meeting people. You're not making any meaningful connections. You're not actually having a meaningful life. You're all over the place. Life is just racing, and everything is a drag because everything obviously is not going to be as exciting as social media. Do you see the poison here? Do you see the toxicity? I'm not saying social media is bad. I mean, I'm on social media. I mean, you are watching this through social media. I'm not saying social media is bad. Social media is not bad, but the way that we become addicted to it is bad. If you can discipline yourself where you're like, I'm only going to be using it to either produce, which is my case, right? I only produce. I'm not really consuming. I would maybe consume, I don't know, a minute a day or 2 minutes a day or 3 minutes a day. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. It's not an exaggeration. I'm not a consumer of social media. I'm a producer of social media. And so that's why I'm producing all this content because I'm not actually scrolling through. Believe me, I'm not. Okay. Whether or not you want to believe me, it's up to you, but I'm just saying I'm not. So for you to actually create these meaningful connections, then focus on those three things I just talked about, which is people, events, and environment. Okay, focus on making new connections with people. Focus on attending events, getting out of your house and attending different events, even if you have to do it alone. You don't have to do it in a group. Recently, I've been doing things alone, and it's honestly it's a great experience because you get to meet different people, you get to experience different events, and you don't have to rely on someone coming with you and relying on their schedule to meet yours so that you can actually do things. It's fine to do things alone. It's perfectly okay. All right. So if you believe that it's not okay, I'm telling you right now it's okay. I'm giving you permission for you to do things alone. All right. You'll meet a lot of interesting people. I'll tell you that much. All right. Last but certainly not least, solutions. Who doesn't like solutions? All right. I should keep this on. Solutions. Who does not like solutions? So here are the 4 solutions for you. The first is at the bottom. Okay. It has got no number attached to it. It says choose. You have to choose. You can't have everything. Okay. As we know, time is very limited. And so there's no way, excuse me, there's no way for you to do everything. No way. It's impossible. Like literally impossible. Because you can't do everything, right? They say in marketing, they say if you're trying to attract everyone, you're attracting nobody, right? You're attracting no one. So same thing with your time. If you're trying to do everything, you're not going to do anything, right? So you got to actually focus on something for you to do, or maybe a few things for you to do. So that's the first thing. You're never going to have enough time, so you're going to need to choose. Number 2 is you need to constantly on a daily basis, constantly and consciously make the hard decisions. In other words, you need to be saying no to a lot more things that you say yes to. So you need to constantly be making these hard decisions, saying no, 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 can't do this. No, I'm not gonna do this. No, I'm not gonna reach for a phone. No, I'm not gonna go and hang out here because that doesn't mean anything to me. No, I'm not gonna go and watch this because that's meaningless to me. Right? You need to really decide on what's important to you so that you can make these hard decisions. Number 3, and that's again part of choice. Number 3 is keeping your quote unquote options open. In other words, not really having a plan, right? Because you want to keep your options open is a trap. It's a trap of you wasting your time because guess what happens when you keep your options open? You waste your time on social media. You waste your time on things that are absolutely meaningless. You end up getting the remote and just watching Netflix and watching just mind-numbing things that mean absolutely nothing to you. I don't know why I had the slide open the entire time, but I'm just saying that for you to choose, first of all, you need to choose to see whether choose because you'll never have enough time to do everything. And like I said, if you choose to do everything, then you'll be doing nothing. The second is you constantly and consciously on a daily basis have to make hard decisions, meaning you should be used to saying no all the time. The third is keeping your options open is a trap, as absolute trap, because when you keep your options open, you don't actually have a plan. And when you don't actually have a plan of what you want to do that is going to add meaning to your life, then you're going to waste your time on things that have absolutely no meaning. And the last thing, which is the concept of FOMO. If you haven't heard what FOMO is it's fear of missing out. FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. And because we have this FOMO, inherent FOMO, we don't want to miss out on things. Our brain tends to go all over the place. Like we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to attend this event, we want to go here, we want to meet these people, we want to hang out with these people, right? So you want to do everything. By wanting to do everything, because you don't want to miss out, now you end up not doing anything. So do you see the common theme? The common theme here is to choose and to focus, right? To focus your mind on certain things that actually add meaning to your life. Okay. All right. I think that's it. All right. We have one more slide. And the last slide is go on and live and get off your phone. Okay. Go on and live and get off your phone. Choose to do the right things. I mean, I'm not going to say the joke, but choose to do the right things and live your life with meaning. I've been so focused here in the past, I don't know how many episodes of giving you tips and tricks on things to increase your productivity, from the Pomodoro technique to, spending 90 minutes, then taking whatever, how many breaks, 20-minute breaks in between every 90-minute intervals, spreading it across 4.5 hours of work. I've tried to do a lot of these research things in order to increase your productivity, which no doubt does help. But the overall arching thing about our life is for us to actually have meaning in our life, because we could either be human doings or we could be human beings. So if you don't want to be a human doing, you want to be a human being, then you have to be present in your life. You have to actually allow the meaning of your life to be the center focus. So get away from your phone, get away from the online distractions, get away from all these, extra stuff that is always bombarding you, trying to get your attention, and really focus on your life. Focus on what provides meaning to your life. Focus on the people in your life. Focus on the events in your life. Focus on actually cherishing the moment, right? Don't isolate yourself. Isolating yourself sucks, right? And that's the way for you to become sad, right? Isolating yourself, because your mind starts to spiral, especially if you pick up your phone or you watch something on Netflix that, triggers a memory in the past. You're like, oh, I wish I was living back then or whatever. Add meaning to your life. Okay. That's all I got to say. Get off your phone, be more focused, and you'll be a lot more content in your short period of time. Have fun in your 3,000 weeks. And until next time, we'll see you tomorrow. And until next time, always keep smiling. Good night.